we're fighting for to be accepted for how we are from the beginning, you know? They look at him walk in, they're more likely to go for the band than if they see me look. Everyone naturally will go for, you know, he's trying his best, but is he going to be that good?
Put yourself in the shoes.
Welcome to INKspiring Stories, the documentary series where I interview people who face difficult life challenges and make a song based on our conversation.
Here we go. I was doing physiotherapy for like 19 months and then doing like conductive education, which is like a Hungarian version basically. It's like more hardcore than physiotherapy. It's actually like trying to get you to learn to do stuff that you shouldn't be able to do, you know.
Yeah.
And just kind of working with the senses and the body and trying to get the brain to match the body as best as they can, right? So I was doing that for like, you know, since I was 3. I still do it now. And probably will do a variation of that until I'm old, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in 2012. I was captain of Great Britain judo team. How old have I been? 16, 15, 16, 15, 16, 15, I think. And then so I just started judo, did like groundwork stuff, and then got pretty good at it. I've always enjoyed like boxing and stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a boxer. Like I wasn't even thinking about music when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would watch stuff like Rocky and all that stuff and be like, I want to do that, you know. Yeah. Meanwhile, 10 minutes ago, I just learned to sit up straight, you know. So it's like, my parents were like, oh, we're going to have to break his heart and tell him he'll never do it, you know. But
was judo like the way you could still live your dream? I could still compete and attempt having like major success, you know. I had like probably 80 contests and I lost 3 of them. When I started, he was like, I started in like 2010, and he was like, okay, by Rio, like you should be good for the Olympics, right. And then or the Paras, and then I looked into it, and it was only visually impaired people that could do it, so there was no like cerebral palsy category or anything. So that was like, dream was dead in the water, you know. Which if I was to do it all again, I would, you know. I don't really know like. A lot of people would say, oh, did you know like this Disney film, or did you watch this when you were a kid? And I was like, nah, dude, I was either like doing physio or asleep. Like, I wanna throw some hands when I'm fighting, 'cause the world is trying to stop me walking out my door. I want more. Say hi.
Mate, every time I go into a guitar shop, the guitar person will talk to my mum first about the guitar. Yeah. Every single time. And my mum will just look like, I went in and took my Les Paul in and had to Bixby looked at or whatever. And I took the Les Paul, and she handed the bloke the guitar, because I can't carry it. So she handed the bloke the guitar. And he goes, I've been in there a lot. And he goes, oh, what's wrong with it? And she's like, she's like, it's kind of nice orangey sort of colour, like, you know. I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then they're just kind of shots, you know. Or if we're networking, like with my band, we were looking for like a rhythm section. We went to like a jam night,
I'll let the singer do the networking, because if they look at him walking, they're more likely to go for the band than if they see me looking. Like, it's just the way it is. You can't like, it won't change it until we're put on the same level.
Yeah, so I have an eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which is a genetic condition which slowly kills the cells from the outsides of your eyes moving towards the centre. It's much more easy to have empathy with people who obviously have a disability when you have that lived experience. I think what I struggle with a little bit is my perception of disability as an able-bodied person was very different to that as it is now as somebody with an acquired disability, and that you know, quite frankly, I didn't pay any attention to people with disabilities in the industry in terms of understanding the additional help that some people need.
I've got two names for them. Either closing doors or find a way to break in.
Like, bullying happens wherever you go because kids are nasty, right? It's natural because we all figure out who's like the hierarchy and everything of the kid groups, right? There's always the popular kid and the geeky kid and the kid you don't want to mess with and those types, you know. So I think it's just life is just like figuring out who's top dog and who isn't. And I think if you're any different, like, it's an easier target, isn't it? So.
I'm not a runner, I'm a stone cold artist. Take the strings from the pop, play through the sky. I stay in my lane when I'm out the way, 'cause the world can't take my brain. When I see my shoes, I want to talk to you.
I remember I was coming out of Five Guys in Brighton, probably 6 months ago. I was coming out of Five Guys and I was just walking with my mum, and these four people, they were probably 16 to 18-ish. They looked at me, they pointed, and then they all started laughing. And I was like, lucky for them, I was walking this way, because if I was walking this way, I'd have said something. But you say something to someone, and the embarrassment is enough to kill it for them, you know. Yeah. Like, I don't mind if kids stare, because kids are curious, and that's just what it is. But when it's like teenagers, you know, they glance you up and down, look at your shoes or whatever, that's, you know, I'll ask them what they're doing, you know, or you know, what you're looking at. Programs like The Last Leg, probably as close as we got right now, because that started out as like a Paralympic show, and then now it's like a pop culture show, you know. Like Alex Brooker, he's got, you know, his leg and his hands are affected, but the thing is he still looks sort of able-bodied, right? So it's enough for people to get their heads around. Yeah. But it's, at the moment, it's like 1 to every 10. Yeah. So if we can get it to like 1 to every 5, you know, then everyone judges everyone. It's natural instinct. If you see a whacking great lion over there gnashing its teeth at you, you're going to judge it and think, oh, that thing's coming after me. Like, it's just natural instinct. Yeah. So until stuff is like, you know, we're properly accepted, like in the wider scheme, and then because it always goes wide and then it filters into the smaller communities.
There are some super kind people who have natural empathy, and they can put themselves in the shoes of other people who have that lived experience, but those people are quite rare, I find, and I can honestly say that I was not one of those people. I don't consider myself to be a bad person, but it's difficult to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who faces challenges like that, and it really does also, once you have lived experience of being in any kind of minority group or underrepresented group, you start to understand the struggles of other people in minority groups as well. So
you You can do anything really, just anything, because it is the song's kind of based around you. So
Okay.
it's your character that you.
That's
put
why it's
into
weird.
it. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Ooh, jazz, man.
Yeah. All right, so should I leave you with that then?
Yeah, sure. For what we're fighting for is to be accepted for how we are from the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky one to get into because you could say like one thing and, you know, 100 people disagree with you, and then before you know it, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a tricky one, just the way it is. Like, so my whole like career and stuff is just like prove everyone wrong and learn to be the best player in the room, because it's not about being the best player in the world, it's about being the best player on the job.
Yeah.
And also it's an extra barrier because immediately someone will see me walking up like with my sticks or whatever, and everyone naturally will go, you know, he's trying his best, but is he going to be that good?
Yeah.
So it's like your whole life, if you've got something like CP and that, it's getting over challenges and proving people wrong. So.
I wanna throw some hands when I'm fighting, 'cause the world is trying to stop me walking out my door. I want more. I'm not a runner, I'm a stone cold artist. Take the strings from the bow, my heart plays through the skies. Crutch by my side, I was pulling through the physio, the yes, skipping out the growing through the childish fears, holding back the thoughts of emotional tears, all the teasing in the ignorant bliss, lack of gratitude I only could wish. I play it safe, staying in my lane. I've been reading paper thoughts and I'm choking on, and now I'm spinning fake lines for a world I've won. I thought I know of all the things he said, but I lived with it falling out my head. Missing every single train down the road less traveled. It's getting all the same till you're stuck in the gravel. Perfect the old unreachable jaw to start a new social media bro. I hate my views and the things I do. How do I dish out more than one wish? Like a genie, learn how to switch. I play it safe, staying in my lane. 'Cause the world can't take my when you see my shoes, I won't talk to you. Looking straight through what you choose to do. I keep moving on when the times are changing. Close the door, I'll find a way to break it.
There's no time to think. Like, you've just got to get going. Life is just like figuring out who's top dog and who isn't. And I think if you're any different, like, it's an easier target. But my whole like career and stuff is just like prove everyone wrong and learn to be the best player in the room. I've always enjoyed like boxing and stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a boxer. Meanwhile, 10 minutes ago, I just learned to sit up straight. My parents were like, "Oh, we're gonna have to break his heart," telling me never do it. You know, the whole adrenaline rush of like achieving your dreams, I suppose. That's kind of appealing. If you've got something like
CP and that is getting over challenges and proving people wrong. So.
Thank you for watching the first episode of INKspiring Stories. I just want to take this moment to thank my friends and family who supported me with my crowdfunding campaign on Rocket Fuel. That gave me this opportunity to make this series. If you want to be a huge part of the INKspiring Stories project and help me get more of these videos out, I would love it if you subscribe to my mailing list, where I have a pretty bizarre question to ask you. Also, I'd love to be able to give you updates about my videos and news and build a community around my work. So look forward to showing you the next episode of INKspiring Stories.